Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Bible School. My name's Josh Terry, and if you're just now joining with our series, this is our answer to the COVID-19 problem. How are we still going to be assembling together? How are we still going to be studying our Bibles whenever we can't meet together? So I've been recording these videos and putting them online, and then we're having our Zoom class on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock for the junior high and then 7:30 for the senior high. And then our Sunday school class will meet at 10 o'clock for the junior high and then 10:30 for the senior high. So that we can still be together and still fellowship and discuss what we're talking about in our Bible classes. On Sunday mornings, we're going through the book of Acts and we're studying what a first century Christian looks like. On Wednesday night, we're studying how to be a first century Christian in a 21st century world. And we've asked many topics to be discussed here. Some of those include time management, addictions, and today's topic, how to be me. So this idea of what makes you who you are is what we're talking about today. Have you ever spent a lot of time with someone? I mean, a lot of time with them, and then you realize, hey, you start picking up habits of theirs. For me, my dad is a big influence on my life. And so whenever we go home, I start picking up traits or things that he does that maybe my wife finds annoying or something. It's funny because as we get closer to my family, my wife says that my accent even changes, that I become a lot more Southern when I'm with my family than when I'm with other people. And I don't know. I don't hear it, but she hears it. But it's that idea that I want to talk about changing when we're around certain people. A lot of us feel that we're being pulled in so many different directions. Whether it be at work, I act totally different than when I'm at school, or when I'm at school, I act totally different than when I'm at home. And then I have my church friends that I act totally different around. In my work as a youth minister, I've discovered that there are some things that kids will not do at a youth group, but they'll do it at home. Whether it be cussing or drinking or racist comments, whatever it can be, a kid will do these at home, and the parent will come and tell me about them, but I will never see it in the youth group. In fact, they'll be some of the best kids in the youth group. They'll ask questions, they will always volunteer to pray or go to an event, and they always show up. And that's really interesting to see them living these two different lifestyles, and I know that it's pulling them apart. As you've probably seen already, I'm wearing this funky shirt. And if you look at this shirt very closely, you can tell that it's made up of different materials. My pocket is a red square, where my on that side of the shirt is a black checkered, or the edges are blue checkered, and then there's this red checkered spot. It's very hodgepodge, and I wore it today because I wanted to talk about this is how we're made up. So there's our friend who does this thing that it doesn't really fit with us, but we do it because they do it, and it becomes a part of our lifestyle. And so we put it on, and now this is kind of who we are. We have this hodgepodge. Even though it doesn't quite go with the rest of our life, we do it. Or maybe there's something that we feel like the sleeves that are a really big and important thing of what we show to people, and we try to always show these things, but it really doesn't match well with this reputation that we have, or how we act at home doesn't match up against how we're acting other places. And we get this idea that we can take bits and pieces of everybody and compile them together and make us and who we are. See, this asks that existential crisis question: who am I? And I know a lot of us are still searching to figure out who we are, but in the Bible, we see these ideas of who am I being linked to genealogies, being linked to things that people do. A lot of times in the Old Testament, we'll see someone's name means something along with what they are enacting or doing. For this idea of who we are, I want to start off with Genesis chapter 1. And as we're looking at Genesis, I want us to think about, who are we? In verse 26 of Genesis chapter 1, we read, "Then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. You've probably read that 100 times as you try to pick up your Bible, and I'm going to read through the Bible in a year, and you try to read that, and you just skip over it, or you read it and you're like, okay, yep, made in God's image, check. But what does that actually mean, to be made in God's image? What does it look like? Is it something that is really affecting them or affecting us? Or is it something that we just we take for granted? As we look at being made in God's image, we realize that at our very core, we are images of God, made here in flesh. While that's being said, I want you to think about how you treat others. It kind of goes along with this idea of being made in the image of God. They also are made in the image of God. So whenever you behave poorly towards them or rude to them, you're also being rude to the image of God. And that's a different way to look at things. So who am I? What makes me? And a lot of times we just pull and pick. Well, I'm this way, or I'm that way, or I'm this way in this certain place. I'm a good kid when I'm with the youth group. I'm a bad kid at home. Or I'm the funny one when I'm with my friends, but at home I'm the serious older brother or the serious older sister. But what are you really? Who are you really? Are you someone that cares about others? Are you someone that is devoted? Let me ask you this. Are you someone that's a Christian? Last week in Time Management, we talked about being a Christian in everything we do, what it looks like and who we are. My question, though, are you a Christian in the first place? As you look at your life, can we see you being a Christian? If I followed you around each and every day, every second of every minute, would I see you looking at inappropriate things? Would I see you laughing at inappropriate jokes? Are you being a Christian, or are you being someone that takes a piece of Christianity and sews it into their shirt and wears it around? You see, a Christian is someone that it affects their heart. God changes their heart. And from that, it pours out. And it doesn't matter what patch or shirt they're wearing, but what it matters is who they are on the inside. And that is a Christian first. So in our Zoom class, I want us to talk about, what does a Christian look like? What does a true Christian look like? In Acts on Sunday, we talked about Peter and John being in front of the council, and they had an opportunity where they were going to be attacked or beaten to say, no, I can act differently around these people because they're Jews that are threatening me. I don't have to act like a Christian here. I don't have to tell them about Jesus. I don't have to tell them about God. But Peter and John decided, you know what? Whether we're around people that care about Christ or people that don't, we're going to be Christians. And so, are you going to be a Christian? That's all I have today. I really enjoy getting to talk to y'all in the Zoom class. Be looking forward to that. Can't wait to be with you all again. Thank you so much for watching. Share with a friend, share with family, invite them to the Zoom class. This is a great time to be growing the church. That's all I have. Thank you so much. You just got Bible schooled.